Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. I'm Helma. I'm glad to see you right now. I would like to share to you about the material of the day. It's about handling meeting. Discussion of material is theory, arguing and giving opinion, refusing opinion, negotiating, making a decision, some expression and example. The first time this presentation will start from Vika Putri Mulyawati. For the second, it's me, Siti Helma. For the third is Erika Dosista. For the fourth is Rizka Darlia. And for the last is Yolanda Pelengkahu. Well, ladies and gentlemen, group 1 it's getting started. So now let's move on to the next topic.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Vika Putri Mulyawati. You can call me Vika. I am an undergraduate student of Office Administration Education, Faculty of Economics, Jakarta State University. Today, I'm here to talk to you about theory of meeting. First of all, I will present about definition of meeting, function of meeting, purpose of meeting, and then I will continue by preparation for the meeting, and then to finish I will inform importance of meeting preparation. Hey guys, did you know about the meeting? Okay, let me explain to you. Definition of meeting according to Oxford Dictionary is a meeting is an occasion when people together to discuss or decide something. In a common word, a meeting is an assembly of two or more people for reaching a decision through discussion. It is one of the major media of oral communication. Therefore, a meeting is an oral medium of communication where people gather to discuss any issue of interest and finally take some decision. The next discussion is the function of meeting. There are three objectives. The first one is to solve a problem, as the purpose of holding a meeting is because there is a problem. By holding a meeting, the problems that occur can be overcome by exchanging opinions and arguments. From these activities, a solution emerges for these problems. The second one is to convey information. In a meeting, of course, there is a problem, and the problem will be resolved by the meeting participants. For that, meeting participants must prepare information that is in accordance with the field and topic being discussed. And at the time, the participant can convey the information that has been obtained so that it can be negotiated with other participants. The last one is as a democracy forum. In a meeting, participants will give the information they get to solve the problems they are facing. And surely the meeting participants have a different information and arguments. And in the end, the meeting participants will get a solution from the negotiation. Therefore, the meeting can be a good forum for democracy. And the next discussion is the purpose of meeting. There are three objectives. First, conveying one or more information. This is done with the intention that if the delivery of information is not carried out directly through meetings, it is feared that it will cause misunderstanding for employees. Second, weaving cooperation among members to form a desired attitude. Because if there is no meeting, then it is likely that members will only think about their own part of the job and not think about other parts. And third, the meeting aims to make decisions in accordance with the authority of the people involved in it. The next discussion is good meeting terms. First, open atmosphere. The open atmosphere in the meeting makes the whole and harmonious and able to receive information from anyone. Second, no monopoly. In meetings, monopoly must be avoided either from participants or from leaders because it will impede the meeting. Third, active participation of meeting participants. A good meeting can be accomplished if all participants are active in resolving the issues under discussion. Fourth, guidance and supervision from the leadership. In a meeting, a leader must be able to provide guidance and direction to all meeting participants so that participants can take an active role in meeting performance. Fifth, debate based on argument, not emotion. If there is a continuing debate, it will result in a heated and tense atmosphere. Sixth, a brief and clear question.
Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Helma. My nickname is Helma. I am an undergraduate student of Administration Education, Faculty of Economic, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. For the next topic, it's arguing and giving opinion. Before that, let's find out the explanation. What is arguing? Arguing is a not contested but competitive rise of dispute and characterized discussion for disagreement. In logic, an argument is a technical term. It doesn't carry any connotation about conflict or confrontation. So here our definition. It has the three parts. First part, an argument is a set of claims or statements. We'll have more to say about what a claim or statement is later. But for now, it's enough to say that a claim is the of things that can be true or false. Next part, one of the claims is singled out for special attention. We call it a conclusion. The remaining claims are the called premises. And finally, the premises are intended as offering the reason to believe or accept the conclusion. And what is opinion? Opinion is a person's response to fact. An opinion is the way you feel or think about something. Based on our perspective, whenever we give or express our opinion, it's important to give reasoning, as simple to supporting. So, why do some people like to arguing and giving opinion in meeting? For the firstly, it's overcoming difference of opinion. You have to unite your thought, intention, and grouping. For the secondly is responding. To appreciate everyone in meeting, you have to give a response. For the third is give perspective. Whenever we express our opinion, it's important to give reasoning or an example to support our opinion. It's normal to explain your opinion as a part of discussion. Explain your opinion with reason. Tips when arguing and opinion your point in meeting. For the first, know why you're arguing. For the secondly, don't use your anger. For the third, make your point count. Express our opinion, it's important to give reasoning as simple to supporting. So how you express your opinion and how you can agree or disagree with someone else in point of view. To give an opinion, we have two types of opinion. For example, I agree with what you are saying. We don't agree with you. I think you are mistaken. I think so too.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm Erika Dosista, you can call me Erika. I'm an undergraduate student of Office Administration Education, Faculty of Economics, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. I'm from the first group, and in these sections, I will present about refusing opinion in the meeting. When we are attending a meeting, we are required to give an opinion or even exchange opinions. But there are times when we want to reject or review someone's opinion. Well, how do we refusing someone's opinion in the meeting? Let's look at the following explanations. In everyday life, when we are talking to friends and we want to reject their opinions, we can use informal sentence. You may say some things like, first, I disagree. 2, I don't agree. 3, yeah, but you can continue with your own opinion. But we can use the sentence in meeting because will be considered disrespectful. So, what kind of grammar should we use in a meeting? Here are of the terms of the language one is formal. As we know, the meeting is one of the official events, and for that, to be more polite, we must use formal language. And also, in the meeting, there will certainly be people who might be higher than us. Well, for that, grammar that we use must be formal grammar. And then, number 2 is indirect and polite. Yes, in meetings, we cannot speak frontal as we please, because with us talking frontal will likely make people misunderstand and offend us. And we will also be considered people who do not have manners. Therefore, when we want to give an opinion or reviewing someone's opinion, we must convey it in polite language. And next, number 3 is clear and easy to understand. In meeting, when we want to give an opinion or reviewing someone's opinion, do not speak conclude, because it will make people confused and tend not to understand what we say. But we must convey clearly and use language that is easy to understood by everyone. And the last is number 4, not lengthy. What is meant by not lengthy is when we give an opinion or reviewing someone's opinion, then we must convey it briefly, densely, and clearly. We can just tell the important points, because if we convey long, then it will be very time consuming and very inefficient. Okay, that's 4 points about grammar that we should use when we're in the meeting. Well, next, when we want to review someone's opinion in a meeting, we must use a formal sentence. For formal, you must say one of their. First, I'm not sure I agree with you on blah blah blah. Here you can tell where you don't agree. So, I'm sorry but I don't agree. 3. I'm afraid I disagree. Another common way to disagree or reviewing opinion politely is to tell the person you respect their opinion before sharing your own opinion. 3 phrases like this. First, I see what you're saying, but blah blah blah. 2. You have a point there, but blah blah blah. 3. I understand where you're coming from, but blah blah blah. In all the sentence you can continue with your own opinion. And now listen to a short exchange. This is an example of reviewing opinion dialogue. Albert, we're playing sky-high rents and others cost. Our business will save a lot of money by changing cities. Rina, I see what you're saying, but in my view, now it's not the right time to leave Los Angeles. The city offers too many incentives. And the last, here are 3 examples of sentence reviewing opinion. First, if I could be honest, I'm not 100% sure about this idea. 2. That's a good suggestion, but I see a few problems with that idea. 3. I see your point. However, your proposal doesn't really make much sense. Okay guys, that's enough for me. In my opinion, you should choose only a few phrases that feel most natural to you and practice them. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Lia. I will explain about negotiation. Negotiation is the process of bargaining, where two parties trying to reach an agreement on mutually accepted terms to acquire each other's wants. Example, customer trying to negotiate with buyer over a price of product, or negotiation for salary between employee and employer. Definitions of negotiation. In the words of this code, a negotiation is form of meeting between two parties or parties and other parties. According to G.A. Wall, negotiation is a process in which two or more parties exchange goods or services and attempt to agree on the exchange rate for them. Then, Winston's Advanced Dictionary. The discussion and bargaining that goes on between parties before a contract is settled or deal is agreed upon. Nature of negotiation. It requires involvement of two parties, requires flexibility, a process not an event, needs effective communication, continuous process between buyer and seller, employer and employer for wages, working hour, etc. Win-win situation for parties involved. Factor affecting negotiation. Place. Familiarity with surrounding help in boosting confidence. Time should be adequate for smooth exchange of ideas and securing agreement before it is too late. Attitude of both parties should be a positive willingness to make agreement or deal. Last subjective factor. Like relation of two parties involved, status different, information, and expertise. Next, negotiation process. First offer. First proposal made by one party to another in the negotiation stage. Second, counter offer. Offer made by second party to first party, or proposing their offer against first party offer. Third, concession. Increase or decrease made in the offer or change in the idea. Fourth, compromise. Sacrifice made by both or one party. Last, agreement. Point where both parties agrees, which is beneficial to both. Types of negotiation. Distributive negotiation and integrative negotiation. Distributive negotiation, often referred to as the fixed pay, usually involves people who have never had a previous interactive relationship, nor are they likely to do so again in the near future. Example, purchasing products or service, like when we buy a car or a house. Ours and their interests are usually self-serving. Integrative negotiation. The process generally involves some form or combination of making value-for-value concession in conjunction with creative problem solving. Form a long-term relationship to create mutual gain, often described as the win-win scenario. Negotiation useful expression. If you want to make an opinion statement or beginning the negotiation, you can say, "We would like to welcome you, blah blah blah," or "Today we are going to talk about blah blah blah," or "We are glad that you could come and hope you will enjoy your stay here." And then let's get down to business. And last, let's begin the discussion with blah blah blah. Okay, next. If you want to expressing your opinion, you can say, "If you ask me," or "I think," or "My opinion for what it's worth," blah blah blah. And then "Why not?" And last, "In my opinion," blah blah blah. Okay, when you want to emphasizing a main point, you can say, "My main concern at this stage is blah blah blah," or "The main thing for me is blah blah blah." And then, "The main point I'd like to emphasize blah blah blah," and others. When you are confused, then you should asking for a suggestion. You can say, "How do you think we should deal with blah blah blah?" Or, "What do you think is the best way forward?" And then, "What do you propose?" Asking for information. You can say, can you give me some more information about?
Hi, my name is Yana Berantahu and I'm going to talk about making decisions. Making decisions is a two process in choosing some alternative or the most appropriate possibilities to get results or solution for future predictions. Or it can be interpreted by the process of solving the problem involving decision making to select the most possible solution. Stages of making decision. First, identify the problem. In this case, it is expected to identify or determine the problem within a situation. Second, data collection and analysis. Decision makers are expected to be able to collect and analyze data or all possible ways to help solve present problems. Third, creating policy alternatives. Once the problem is properly set, there must be a way to resolve it. 4. Choosing one of the best alternative. An option that is deemed the most appropriate for resolving a particular problem is done on the basis of careful consideration or recommendation. Choosing alternative takes a long time because it determines whether the alternative is used successfully or not. 5th, implementations of decisions. Implementing a decision means that a decision maker must be able to receive either positive or negative effects. When receiving negative effects, leaders must also have other alternatives. And the last one, monitor and evaluate implementation results. Once a decision has been made, one must be able to measure the impact of the decisions made. Some example of technical decision making. First, impulsiveness. Take the first option when a choice is faced. Certainly, not all situations fit this way, and not necessarily the first choice is always appropriate. But for some situations, this way can cut a lot of time. Second, balancing. Take the most popular option. Here we consider the review of others before taking a decision. It's a safe way, although it's not necessarily what most good people chose for us. And the last one, delegating. Give trusted people the mandate to make decisions. For the leaders, giving authority to subordinates is a good way to build trust. Ensure that delegated decisions have weight equal to those entrusted with trust. Obstacle to decision making. First, dumps. The most powerful obstacle is in fact self. Dump causes one to act decisively. Often a manager is beset by dumps in thinking and taking action. Second, misconceptions about information. Errors in understanding the role of information can be a major impediment to making decisions. If a company makes decisions with a misunderstanding of information, decisions will not be made right. The information to be used must be complete and carefully stored. Third, last time. Hasty decisions often have devastating effects. However, in times of emergency, the company must face lack of time. This can be the hardest obstacle for most companies. And the last one, too much or less information. Having a lot of information is considered beneficial, but if it's not collected correctly, it will be troublesome. A company can feel disoriented when the information is too large and not grouped together properly. Meanwhile, not having enough information to support a decision is also bad. Companies must have relevant information to come up with the best solution. How to enhance the decision-making skill is first, control yourself. One of the most difficult things to control when it comes to making decisions is to beat ego and emotions. Making an objective decisions is not easy, especially if the decisions are made quite personal, but by regularly training to keep your ego and your emotions under control, you should not be more objective when you think. Second, never procrastinate. They have to put things off quickly, since many habits of procrastinations often make them difficult for us to decide. When faced with a problem, we must not put off trying to find solution. Whether it's a heavy or a light problem should still be solved right away. And third, always have a sense of curiosity. A curious trait will make a person more critical and less satisfied with an answer, and will always question and lead to a deeper search and research. This one will always think of the advantage and disadvantage of the outcome. Decision-making tips. Making decisions certainly is not a simple thing. For choosing the best solution and alternative of various kinds must be done considerately. Therefore, to be able to make good decisions, make identification and analysis of the choice faced. But if we are called upon to make a quick decision about a matter, it is best to think quickly by keeping your emotion in check. Likewise, in the work world that may be full of choice, but we must be able to make sound decisions. Example in making decisions. First, problem solving. Problem solving are the ability to solve our problems and make difficult decisions. Everyone should have these abilities in his daily life, not just the leader. When faced with problems, of course, you must face them wisely and make decisions with objective and logical reasoning. Second, active listening is equally important and plays a major role in the decision-making process. In the decision-making process, of course, we must always accept input or opinions from others. When we are able to listen well, surely we can discuss and collaborate to make good decisions. And the last one, reasoning. Of course, it requires the ability to think logically and to reason. Be sure before deciding something, learning all the necessary information first. Then try to reason and find out what the right decisions would be. Without the ability to reason properly, it can hardly be easy to arrive at an objective decision. Some expressions that can be used in making decisions are as follows.
Well, she's for sure coming. She told me last week.
If someone asks me a question, like, oh hey, do you know if they sell jeans down there? I'll say, oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
So in that way, we're kind of using it in that I'm sure she's coming to the party. I'm sure they sell jeans.
If you're trying to convince somebody else and trying to help them make a decision, you can say, yeah, we should do plan B for sure, option B for sure.
If a student asks me something like, can I use it in this sentence? I'll be like, yeah, for sure. Of course you can.
So for sure is a very flexible phrase. You can use it to say yes, you can use it instead of definitely or certainly, and it's catching on. I hear for sure all over the place from speakers of English all over the world.
This is kind of when you're trying to make a decision of, should I overthink the situation because I'll probably come up with a new decision, or should I go with what my instinct tells me? You could say something like, my instinct tells me to just say yes, but when I made a long list of things, it's an obvious no.
My directional instincts are really terrible, so whenever my gut tells me to turn right, I think about it and then I turn left because that's probably right.
And the last example of a phrase to be used in making decisions is
So, how do you know where we're going?
Okay, look, I just know. I've looked it up before, and I had it on my phone, but look, just don't worry about it. I just know.
If you think you know something and you don't have time to explain why, or you don't want to explain why, or you can't explain why, you can keep it nice and simple and say, I just know, okay? Trust me, I just know.
If you listen to my pronunciation, I almost don't say that T at all, so it just sounds like I just know. I just know. I just know.
That was a great concert last night, Scarlett.
Thanks.
As we know, Scarlett's got a new CD coming out soon, so let's have a look at the best way we can promote it in France.
Okay. Well, I think Scarlett should visit the major music stores. In my opinion, that's the best way to meet her fans.
I'm not so sure. What do you think, Jacques?
Actually, I don't agree with Marc. Scarlett isn't commercial in that way.
Scarlett? Scarlett?
I agree with Jacques. I don't have a commercial image. It isn't my style.
Okay, but Scarlett needs more publicity. What about a series of TV and radio interviews? Don't you agree?
Yes, but that's what everybody does. What we want is something different.
Personally, I think Scarlett should tour clubs and summer festivals. She can DJ, play her favorite music, play the new CD, and meet her fans, too.
Yes, absolutely. That's a much better idea. Mark?
Okay, why not?
Scarlett?
I think... that's a great idea. Thank you, Jacques.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Well, look who's here. It's
Ronnie. Alex. James. Adam.
Thank you for joining me, and thanks for helping me with this lesson, guys.
No problem. No problem.
So you know we're talking about discussions, and the topic is it better to study online or in a regular classroom? Okay. Who wants to go first?
Okay, so I'll start, and I think that it's actually very good to study online because it's very convenient because you can study whenever you want and at your own pace. And for example, someone like me, I like to study at nighttime. So for me, online works better because it's quiet at night, no one disturbs me, and I can do what I need to do.
Okay. That's true, but if you're going to study online, you do need... Oh, please let me finish. As I was saying, that's true, but if you're studying online, you do need to motivate yourself. So I think it's better to be in a classroom where you have other students and a teacher who can motivate you.
That's true, but some people can't afford to go in a classroom and don't have enough money or the resources to actually go in a big school. So studying online, you can actually do it for free.
Me? Well, I would like to add. May I say something?
Sure.
Soft skills. That's not usually talked about in schools, but when we talk about soft skills, it's actual interaction, utilizing your English when you're with other people. And that's hard to get online because you're watching a screen, not actually interacting with other people.
You make a very good point, but I would also like to add that sometimes having classmates takes you away from your focus because you have to maybe review things many times for other people to catch up, or you have to do topics that are interesting to other people, not to yourself. So it's a little distracting sometimes too.
However, focus is a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing to repeat something because sometimes people don't catch the material the first time. So that way you go over the material and they get, you get depth, so you get to learn it more, and people who don't understand get the opportunity to ask questions and learn from it again.
Yeah, but sometimes the resources that you get in the classroom are boring, and online you can just look up whatever you need on the internet, and you've got it right there. You don't have to rely on a textbook. Some kind can be bad textbook.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are good resources on the internet, like angvid.com.
I'm sorry, did you say ingvid.com?
I did say angvid.com.
Oh,
I've heard of ingvid.com.
I think I have too.
Me too.
I'll check it out. Anyway.
Okay, it's a good website. So as I was saying, don't get me wrong. I think there are excellent resources online. However, some students who are just learning English for the first time might not know how to judge the quality of resources. So I think if you go to a school, if you're inside a classroom, you're with a teacher who is trained, is a professional, and who can give you the resources you need to improve your English.
Well, it's a good thing that you said about professional teachers, because at ingvid.com,
Ingvid.com?
Ingvid.com.
Ingvid.com.
Yeah, Ingrid?
we all have professional teachers ready to teach you. So in conclusion, in a nutshell, can we just kind of sum up and say that studying online or in a classroom will help everyone?
Sure, I guess so. Yeah,
Is that-
I can agree to
Agree
that.
with that?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for your help, guys. So now, I'll review some of the phrases and expressions that you heard in the discussion.
Right, and I think that it's actually very good to study online.
I think is used when you're going to express your opinion. You could also say I believe and so on. Next.
That's true, but if you're going to study online...
However, focus is a good thing.
Yeah, but sometimes the resources that you get in the classroom are boring.
Okay, these three phrases, that's true, but, or however, or yeah, but, are used, what do you think? They're used when we want to contradict what someone else has said, when we disagree with what someone else has said. Okay, next.
You make a very good point, but I would also like to add that sometimes having classmates takes you away from your focus.
You made a good point, but I'd also like to add is a very nice expression. It shows that you recognize the contribution that someone else has made to the discussion in the first part, and you're also going to add your own opinion, which is different from what the first person said. Next.
But if you're going to study online,
Sorry, but-
you do need...
Well, I would like that. May I say something?
Sorry, but, which Ronnie says, or may I say something, which James said, are two different ways in which you can interrupt a discussion. You see that the first one was purposely done for you, not in a very polite way, show you how not to do it. And James says, may I say something, which is a very polite way to enter a discussion. Next.
Sorry, but...
You need... Please let me finish.
Please let me finish is a very nice way to hold the floor. What does it mean to hold the floor in a discussion? It means to establish your position as the speaker. All right? So someone else is trying to interrupt, but you want a chance to finish whatever argument you're presenting. So you say, please let me finish. Okay? Very nice. Next.
As I was saying, that's true, but if you're studying online...
As I was saying, is used when you're returning to your to speaking, to whatever you were saying, when someone has interrupted you. Okay, it's a way of saying, okay, now I'm talking again, as I was saying. All right, next.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are good resources on the internet.
Alex uses "don't get me wrong." Now, this is an interesting expression because when we say this, what we're saying is that I've been explaining something, I've been presenting a certain point of view, but I do understand that there is another point of view, and I accept that, and I understand that. However, I do still have my opinion. So we use that when we are taking into account the other opinion as well. Next.
So in conclusion, in a nutshell, can we just kind of sum up and say that...
Okay. The last three phrases were used by Ronnie to end the discussion. So in conclusion, in a nutshell. In a nutshell just means in short. Or can we sum up by saying? Can we sum up means can we summarize? All right? So that's a nice way to end a discussion by including everyone in it. It's not as if one person is deciding to end the discussion. She's sort of asking everyone's permission by saying, can we sum up by saying? Okay? I hope this lesson has given you a number of different expressions that you can use.
Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. This is the presentation of our group. If you are mistaken, we apologize. Thank you for your attention.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you. Bye.